I thought Owen was younger. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us at tonight's post-match press conference, joined by Austin FC interim head coach Davy Arnaud. You all know the drill. We'll go straight into questions from the media. Whoever would like to start us off. Michelle, you guys mind passing this to Michelle?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
What do you take from tonight's performance, and what does this say for the fans as they obviously close tonight, but we move on to the future?
Yeah, I think super proud of the performance and the response of our guys. They showed real character and heart, as they have shown all year. Challenged the group before the game started. Said, look, even though there's nothing really on the line for this game, whether you have something on the line or not, the effort and the commitment and battle for your teammates, all that stuff is not conditional on you getting an outcome that you want, because the outcome that we wanted was obviously to be playing again and playing another game in the playoffs. We said that can't be conditional. That has to be there regardless. And those guys showed that in a big way tonight, especially in the second half. Guys that came in the game made a big impact and pushed. And hopefully, I think the fans should obviously leave happy. It was an exciting ending and one that our guys continued to commit until the very end. So the hope is that for the fans, they're left with a really good taste in their mouth of this team and what this team, moving forward. For the city and for the club, what this team can be capable of.
And the last one from me, can you talk a little about Irvin Torres and his call-up today? He's 16 years old. I believe Owen Wolf made his debut at 16 as well. What did you see about him, though? Very special at such a young age.
Yeah, it was a good moment for Irvin, and things kind of. Played out this week. We have some guys missing, and things played out where it was going to be an opportunity maybe for Irving to join us, at least on the bench. He's had a really good year this year, obviously coming through the academy. He's done a good job. Brett Utley and those guys have done a really good job with him, with the MLS Next Pro team. He's made an impact in those games. He's scored goals. He's performed really, really well. He's with the youth national team at 16 years old, at a young age, at an older age group, playing 90 minutes and performing well. And anytime he's been in our environment with the first team, which he has on and off this year, he's handled himself extremely well. I think the guys know what he can be capable of. So it was a nice moment for Irvin, and obviously it was good to get him in the game. And I thought with not a ton of time, obviously, I thought he handled himself pretty well.
Thanks, Coach.
Phil, go ahead.
Yeah. So these players have been in the same system for nearly 4 years. You've been obviously very familiar with it. I'm just wondering, for this last game, was there any kind of move on your part to change principles, or was it kind of sticking with what they know?
No, we have, there's 10 days, right, in between our last game and this game. So we weren't going to do anything drastically different. We were just going to challenge the players in a good way to continue to compete. We believe in a lot of the things that we've done here and the way that we've done them. I think over the last 6-8 weeks, 8 games, something like that, you see signs of who we are with the chances we're creating. Obviously not getting the results that we wanted. We felt like we were playing really well and not rewarding ourselves with goals and with points, and we were just missing execution of final action. So with that being the case, we were going to go out and do the things that we do well. And I think there was a little period in the middle of the first half where it went astray a little bit for us. So I thought we started the game really well. But then we regrouped at halftime, and they came out, and they executed extremely well. We continue to do the same things that we have done for a majority of the time over the last 4 years. And you see the chances they get. Now they're just executing the final action, right, which leads to goals and leads to points. And I think you see the result of that tonight.
Right, and then obviously there's going to be roster decisions to make here now that we're at the end of the season, and just wondering, in terms of did anybody kind of account for themselves particularly well tonight towards those aims? Are you going to be in on those decisions at all, or is this kind of strictly a roto decision?
Yeah, I'm uncertain about if I'll be in on those decisions or not. As for now, my status is the same until told otherwise. And in terms of the players and the roster decisions, those are decisions that will obviously be made in the coming weeks. There's a little bit of time to make those decisions now. Can a player impact that decision from one game? Yeah, maybe so, but I think it's more the body of the work of the player over the course of the season. We've been around these guys for a long time. Roto has seen these guys now for a long time. So I don't think you're going to get anyone that changes or sways a decision one way or another based on the game tonight. It can help if you're uncertain, but I don't know if it would be the final decision based on tonight.
Colby?
Yeah, just talk about the final 10 minutes and kind of what Ethan and Brendan brought in their final shifts. And I thought, even the last 15 minutes of the game, you guys, showed a lot of energy there at the end.
Yeah, they made a big positive impact, as did Z. John Kolmanich, he came in and had a big impact as well. Obviously, I think he had 2 assists, I believe. Brendan scores, Ethan scores. They make a huge impact on the game, and that as a sub, that's what you want to do. And talk to specifically about Ethan and Z after the game. Those are guys that have not seen a ton of minutes lately. But they continue to train well. They continue to be really good pros. They go about their business the right way in training, which we always challenge the guys to do, even when it's not going well for you personally or you being a good teammate, and those guys both have been. I talked to Ethan after the game. We talked in the locker room and said, for me, there's a reason that Ethan has been around this league for so long. Right? Because even if he's not playing games, he's training every single day. He goes about things the right way. He doesn't change based on if things are going well for him or not. He wants to make it harder on you in terms of picking the team because he continues the effort, all the things that you want to do, continues to try and improve the quality all the time. And tonight he came in the game, and when you do things that way, you get rewarded. He got rewarded tonight for the way that he's been working, not just tonight, but over the past few months when things haven't been going his way. And again, it's a huge compliment to him and the reason that he has been in this league for so long.
It seemed like the guys played pretty loose tonight. Is that something you saw as well?
I don't know. Loose is the right word. They played the way that they have been. To be honest, they were good. There was moments they were really good. There's some really good actions. Again, there's about 20 minutes in there in the first half where it went astray a little bit. It wasn't really kind of structurally who we are, and we got back to it in the second half. That we were getting the opportunities that we expected to look like. But I don't think loose is the right word. I actually think the intensity was there. Maybe there's a little pressure off because there's not really anything on the line. But once you're out there playing, you're not thinking about what's on the line. You're playing the game regardless of what's on the line, and there's still that pressure because they want to win.
Jorge?
Hello. Yes. What do you think it's the best of the what you can rescue of 2024, and what do you think will be the worst part of Austin FC in 2024?
What can we rescue 2024? Well, I think we started the season in a difficult position. We had low numbers on our roster, right? We were in a tough spot to start with. We made some really good additions in the summer, and when we made the really good additions, it lifted the whole group. You have competition for places. You got a group now that's challenging each other every single day. When you go into games and subs are being made, the level is maintained. And once we got that, I think you saw again, even though the results didn't go well in Toronto, at LA Galaxy, we went in Portland. You can see the signs of who this team was and who we can be. And again, I don't want to say that I know wins, they matter. They're the most important thing. That is the most important thing, is winning. But over the last sort of 10 games, we consistently put ourselves in position to win games. And you see, when you're watching it like that, you say, man, those games can go either way. Now, 2 or 3 of those games go the opposite way. We're having a different conversation right now. That's the way that, there wasn't any more time, unfortunately, once we got to that point where we had room for error. We didn't have any room for error. So I think what you take positive out of that is you see a team that's capable of winning games and getting results. The negative you take from this year is obviously we didn't achieve the goal that we wanted to achieve. We wanted to be in the playoffs. So there's no other way to put that one. That would be the negative.
And about you have a 16-year-old, and during the season, it was practically hard to see young guys on the team. What give you or what motivates you to have these kids on, yes.
Irving, speaking of Irving.
Yes. And CJ also, that he had opportunities, but actually not that many. And I have them together on the team today was kind of strange.
You had them on the. What do you mean you had them on the team? I don't
On the
understand.
field, on the field.
Okay. Yeah. Again, guys earn regardless of their age. If they're with the first team, second team, I think regardless of that, if you're good enough to play, you're going to play. If you perform well in training, you're going to play. If you're at the MLS Next Pro level and you perform well and have good games, you'll get opportunities to train with the first team. At the end of the day, guys are not going to play over guys who you think give the team a better opportunity to win the game.
Yeah, ¿me puedes ayudar en español? A lo mejor no la hice bien la pregunta.
Sí, sí.
I'm going to try to translate
Yeah,
this.
sorry, I didn't. I guess I didn't quite
Because
understand.
I think,
Yeah.
la pregunta sería, ¿qué fue lo que lo motivó a él a tener jóvenes hoy que no pudimos ver tan seguido durante la temporada?
He's asking what motivated you to play young players today
Que no vimos en toda la temporada. O sea, que no lo vimos tan seguido en toda la
that
temporada.
people didn't see earlier.
Yeah, again, I think the situation with Irving specifically, assuming that's who you're speaking about, the situation with Irving specifically is we had a lot of guys missing tonight. We had Mikel out, we had Biro out, we had Denny Pereira out. So we had, there was, first of all, I think the first part is there was space on the roster, right? And I think when you get to the year specifically, again, we absolutely want to win the game tonight. That was the goal tonight. But at the end of the day, when there's not anything beyond this, it's an opportunity where you can bring a young guy into the mix to give him experience. If it's a guy that you believe in for the future of the club, it's someone you can give a good experience to come in and have the opportunity, which is a little different than if, we're still in the mix in Portland, right? It changes a little bit. Not that it changes the want or the desire to win the game, but the situation just kind of lined up tonight where it made sense to give him an opportunity.
And then just kind of curious what you saw from Driussi. I mean, obviously he gets the PK. It's a really authoritative finish. But then he also has the giveaway that the equalizer that Navarro gets. So just kind of thoughts about him and just kind of his journey this season and what you see for next year.
Yeah, I was happy for Sebastian to get the goal. Obviously, he enjoys scoring goals. He wants to score goals. In the giveaway, those things happen. It's part of the game when you're in difficult positions in the field. And he had kind of come down centrally, I think, and he turns the ball over, not in a good spot, which he would admit the same thing. But that's not easy, coming down like that. And I don't even seen the play yet, but I don't know if there's someone for him to set the ball to or not. But at the end of the day, we talked about it's tough to play against these teams, centrally, Colorado especially. We talked about more playing around and playing over them. We chose to play inside, and when you play inside and you turn balls over there, you're gonna get punished. But Seba's brave. He'll come and get the ball in tough spots. That's why he's Sebastian Driussi, and he obviously has the quality that we all know.
And then you finish with 42 points. If you're in the East, you get in the playoffs. Obviously, in the West, you don't. Just kind of thinking back over the season, the games, are there any ones in particular that kind of sting in terms of ones where you thought you could have gotten a few more points and maybe been, in the play-in game at least?
I mean, I can't put my finger on specific ones now, but I know there's several of them. There's probably other people on our staff that better memory of games. We'll reflect on that. But I mean, just recently, some of the games, the game in Toronto, the game in LA. These are just recent ones. Now, when you look back over the course of the whole year, there's been many moments where there's such fine margins in our league, and the line is so fine between being in the playoffs or not. And man, it's hard to. When you look back on it, we've done this exercise over the last 3 years. You always look back and see where you could have got points, and where, man, realistically we should have had points here, here, and here, and here. And we're going to do the same exercise, and there's going to be a number of games, I think, where we could have gotten more out of it and should have gotten more out of it based on chances we created and just didn't execute.
So will it be more painful this year, or is it painful every year you don't make the playoffs?
I think it's painful. It's painful every year, whether you're in the playoffs or not. Because I think as a staff, you look back. The goal is always to win, right? So you always look back at we've done it for the last 3-4 years now. We always reflect back on the entire season, and every game that slips through your fingers, whether you're in the conference final at the end of the year or you're missing the playoffs, you want those moments back, because the goal is to win every game. The goal is to be as high as you can once you're in the playoffs. So we'll reflect on that. And there's definitely been some of those moments this year.
You have a favorite for MLS Cup? You can pick somebody.
I don't know. There's some good teams. I think it would be hard to not pick Inter Miami with the season that they had this year. But Columbus is obviously a very good team.
You saw what Messi did tonight, right?
I heard about it. Yeah, I walked in and it was 2-2, and then it was 5-2. So it was on the TVs back there. But yeah, they're obviously a very good team. But there's obviously some very good teams in the West that will challenge anybody in the East. That's for sure.
What do you think? Maybe El Tráfico Western Conference Final, or does Salt Lake knock somebody off?
They're all three very good teams. Salt Lake's a tough team to play against. LAFC obviously has their quality, and they're so dynamic in transition with their attacking players. They're always a tough out. And LA Galaxy have obviously had a very good year. They have a lot of quality. They ask a lot of questions in the way that they attack. I'll be watching the games, and obviously wishing we were playing in them. But we'll be watching the games, and there'll be some good ones. I know that.
What was the toughest thing for you personally on tonight's coaching?
It was, it wasn't easy. If I'm being honest, it's a difficult situation, right? You have relationships with people. I have a relationship with Josh that goes back over 20 years. So this is more than just than these last couple years. We have a relationship that goes back a long way. Having said that, you understand that this is part of it. We all understand that in this job, this is part of what we do. So yeah, it's been a little. I would be lying if I said it was. I would be lying if I said it was easy, because it hasn't been easy. It has been difficult. You develop relationships with players, with coaches, with staff. There's a lot of stuff that we do on a daily basis that no one sees, where we develop bonds with each other. Right? We develop connections with each other, and when that gets broken, which is part of what we do, it can be tough. But I will say, the players responded in a great way tonight. I think the crowd obviously got a good game to witness, but it's part of it, and I'm happy that we were able to get the win, and yeah, that's it.
And you're going to have a perfect record for the rest of the year, 1-1.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's true,
Right.
So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else for Davy?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we'll wrap it there. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.